Today's guests are Molly Stern, makeup artist, and Lucie Doughty, celebrity colorist for Paul Mitchell.
There was one beauty trick that I saw online, and it was like, if you make the length of your eyes the same length as your nose, your face will be proportionate. I read that.
That's a good trick.
Tricks like that.
So do you get your tape measure out and like measure? Like...
Yes.
Yes,
okay.
I do.
Just pull it out, measure it out, yeah.
I think a brow is such an important a part of the face, and I think people over tweeze, so I'm please don't tweeze.
No more 90s. No more of that.
No, I mean, I love a bleached brow. Like, I can get there, I get it, but I just think for a regular, everyday look, to keep it a little bit more natural, I think is a better way to go. But to fill in with a little definition, a little bit of shape, it frames the whole shape of your face. So whether you're trying to thin something out or just give yourself a little bit of frame.
Is that painter background from you?
A canvas, a flat canvas is much more challenging than a living canvas because there's giving you life and color and depth that you're working with, and when you're trying to bring something out of nothing, it's much more challenging. I felt like my makeup artistry was so much more inspired, and I connected so much deeper with the faces once I took that painting class. And when I can get into that mindset of where I am being painterly in my application, I think my clients look 1,000 times more beautiful than when I'm following some sort of tip or trick.
I'm sure as a painter, well, for me, because I paint with oils too,
yes.
I tend to overpaint. And I feel like that's the same when you're trying to do natural makeup. You can over apply too much makeup.
Incredible.
So I think in a way, when you're trying to apply makeup and you want to bring the best features, you have to pull yourself away and pull yourself back.
So interesting.
And that's discipline, in my opinion.
You know, my art teacher that I just spoke of, he'd come around and he'd look at your piece and he'd go, okay, it's looking good. Don't love it to death. Meaning like, oh, this is looking good. And then you do overpaint. And the same thing with the face, like, oh, and I've done it but that's the beauty of makeup. And I say this always to my clients is it's not permanent. You can wipe it off. Exactly. You're not stuck with anything. It's really a freeing form of creativity because you can push it to the limit and go, no, let me reel it back a little bit.
Yeah, I think less is more, right?
I mean, that's always been my vibe. Like, usually if we're mindful about what we're doing, the result is better than if we're just like, oh, careless, what's up, yay, you know, but.
And how we, develop our own aesthetic too, just by watching and then copying and then working on our own evolution of like what is our aesthetic at the end of the day.
Sure. I mean, and I think a key to that also is knowing who you are. And it's I mean, I remember working in a salon that people would like come in with like afro crazy curly hair and bring the Jennifer Aniston Friends haircut.
Right.
You can't have that.
The Rachel.
I sometimes would talk at high schools and stuff, and I would say like, only Angelina Jolie looks like Angelina Jolie. Right. Only Giselle looks like they are the exception. I think it's so important to know who you are when you're working to enhance what you want to enhance and not try to be looking like somebody else.
Or what's like the right age to wear makeup?
Well, according to my 6-year-old daughter, now is the time. And of course, she's not into like ethereal glitter. She wants red lipstick. I'm like, what is going on? Like, so intense. And here I am, a makeup artist, but feel very, I don't know, I'm very protective of the young girls. I think girls are putting themselves out there too young. That's my opinion. She's a beautiful little girl. Like, when she puts eyeliner on, she looks not like a little girl. Then there's like that model that like 11 or 12-year-old model that was causing a big stir. I don't know her name.
Yeah, because she was wearing like a sheer dress.
Because she looked really
like
sexy, and she's a little girl, and it's 12. Like, so I don't know.
Shocking.
It's a little nerve-wracking for me. And when my daughter puts on eyeliner, you're like, oh God, I don't like to see you as a hot teenager.
Do you guys have any advice for maybe like young girls, maybe like 11 or in their teens that want to be like you when they grow up? Like, how do they get started?
We were talking about the journey of, starting at the bottom, and I think there's something to be learned with every step of the way. And if you try to jump too far ahead, you miss a lot of the lessons. I started out in my mom's salon and I started out washing rollers. And there's lessons that I've learned about work ethic that have stayed with me for, my entire career. And I just think, connecting with a mentor and being able to start at the bottom is a great place. Because as you progress, you work up and you have something to look back on and some experience to offer
and
as you get to the next lesson.
Right, you have something, you have skills, that you can lean on.
And then when you come out, there's so many different careers, you know, within the industry. You can work on movies, you can work with celebrities, editorials, work in the salon. So just finding out what makes you tick, you know, I've always gone with like what makes me happy, you know, and taking opportunities for myself that really I enjoy and make me happy.
The journey is the destination.
The journey is everything.
Yeah.